Alright guys, hey and welcome back to the Phoenix Wright series. It's been about a year since I played this. We're on to the fourth game, Apollo Justice. Now I've already bet the 4 main games, and I do admit that when I did play them, I was a real Phoenix Wright noob. Half the time I didn't know what I was doing. I liked the games. I was just very stupid at the time, I guess. I don't really know. I went back and looked at them and they were very cringy to watch, because I'm so used to being energetic in my videos and putting on voices for characters, and I didn't do that back then much. I don't really remember. But yeah, those were very fun games. I really liked them. One of my favorite YouTubers, who I'm not going to say the name of, but I watched them play Phoenix Wright since I've done it like years ago. And yeah, I still enjoy the games, even watching them. So I'm on to Apollo Justice, the 4th game. I've been meaning to play this for a while now. A long time. This takes in a new protagonist, obviously called Apollo Justice. You can see his silhouette in the picture. I'll also be most likely not doing the same layout as I did for the original 3 Phoenix Wright games. I had it so the main screen was the bigger one on the far left, and then the bottom screen is a little bit to the right, smaller. But I figured I only did that because I wanted the first screen to be a bit bigger, but sometimes the second screen needs to be seen as well. Pardon me. So I'm going to be keeping them the same size, so that will take less editing, and it will also be a smaller video size because the way I had to edit it was I had to put the same video on twice. Otherwise, I couldn't move the screens around. It's very complicated. But otherwise, I'm gonna get into this game. Hope you guys enjoy the Let's Play. Alright. Turnabout Trump. Min something? Wait, what was that? It's about time? Something? You lose. Ah! Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me, please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Alright, April 20th, 9:37 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Ooh, everything looks different. That's cool. There's a picture of the judge. The plant tree's still there, the 2 guards still there, everything's a little bit different colored. That's cool. Alright then. Okay, so I know the main character in this game can be a bit, what do you call it? He can get flustered easily. So I'm going to give him a normal voice because he's going to be the one narrating all the time. But a bit deeper, because that's the way he seems. I'm also going to turn my sound down. You'll be able to see that, but yeah. Panicked, palms sweaty, I can admit I'm nervous. Ugh, good morning. Oh no, it's someone else talking. Hello. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight? Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose, I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 AM to do my Court of Steel voice workout, I'm fine. Court of Steel? That explains it. I did detect a sudden rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. Oh, poor boy. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift.
Drift, got it, sir. I'm all over that drift.
As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through.
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing your case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client.
Okay, who's the client? My name is Paul Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh, it's Phoenix. What did you do this time? I mean, he hasn't really been in court much. He's always been the attorney. I think he's only been like twice. One was the Mia case in the first game, and that was like half the case. The rest was Maya. And the other one... I don't think there was another one, actually. Never mind. I can't really think, well. God damn it, why is Phoenix here? I think it's Phoenix at least. It looks like him. Just a bit older. And here's the... What's with the PA on his hat? And is that a... Lena... No, not Lena. Emma Sky's button thing on his hat?
Whoa! Good morning.
Morning. It's all up to you today.
First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help?
So, you're...
Fine! I'm fine!
Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name.
Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay, I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why?
You'll see. Ooh. You can do it. Be confident. I'm training you to be a good attorney because it's your game now, not mine.
I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean,
It's time, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice!
And probably Max Payne. Oh no, that's not his name. Where did I get Max Payne from? I think it's a movie, actually. What's his name again? Something Payne. I forget.
Yes, it is! It's Payne! The court is now in session! Oh my god, I'm back!
Oh, everything looks awesome! He doesn't look like he's aged one bit, but everything behind him is aged.
Oh yes! The judge is back, bitches!
Prosecution is ready, Your Honor! Oh god, he's got hair again.
Oh, the defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late.
Apollo looks awesome.
Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounded a bit strained. Mr. Gavin.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case.
Yeah. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. My client specifically requested Mr. Justice.
Well, of course he wants justice. To entrust his case to this greenhorn. Why? Do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. I love you so much. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? Cords of steel! Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom.
Hey guys, it's not my game anymore, so of course I'm the defendant. Bloody hell.
They needed to get me into this game somehow. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, it is. I thought so. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Oh, you stopped being a defense attorney?
Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne.
To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Winston. Ah, that's it. Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Ahem! The crime occurred at the Bosch Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold.
Ooh, a customer at the restaurant. And the defendant, you say he was...
A pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright, a pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. It's somehow still together, even though it's made out of glass. Shit is shattered. A bottle of grape juice. Oh. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
The court accepts this deadly bottle as evidence.
Deadly bottle added to the court record. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently.
The court record? Right, I've heard of that.
Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I shall. Okay, go to the attorney's badge. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready.
Ready!
Oh, we can do the check thing! Oh, that's so cool. I like this. I like this already. I haven't done this since the first game.
There's a number inscribed on the back of the badge. There are many numbers like this, but this one is mine. Proof that I'm an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it.
Oh, good for you, Polo. Alright. The time of death was around 2 AM. April 17, death caused by single blow to the forehead. Okay. So I need to remember this, because there are most likely going to be contradictions about this. So the time of death was around 2 AM, April 17. Victim's name is Shady Smith. Age, we don't know. Male. Estimated time of death, April 17. Between 1:45 and 2:15. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blood trauma to forehead. Okay. The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Touch the check button. Okay. Someone must have touched his hat then. Because if you hit him in the forehead, it's most likely going to make his hat fall off. I doubt his hat would fall back down over the forehead. So that means someone's touched the hat afterwards? So maybe we'll be able to check that for prints? Who knows? Oh, I need to check the bottle. Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Now, I'd say this has no blood on it, but maybe it didn't make a wound. Maybe it just messed up inside his forehead. Like, for example, if you would hit something very hard, it would cause it to not be bruised and thus blood won't come out, but it will damage them to the point of death. Maybe? I don't really know. Okay, let's continue. I'm confident in your ability to handle this.
Right, it's court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this Shady Smith fellow?
Shady Smith. I love the names. We believe he was a traveller, Your Honor.
A traveller?
According to his passport, he has been out of this country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim is slighted. Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Yeah, it's a card game. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Objection!
Oh my god, his voice. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. Competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Oh, come again?
I'm guessing he's saying there was no prize in the winning, like there was no gambling, it was just playing a game. The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal card of cards. Game of cards.
You can't impress me, Judge. I know all your tricks.
Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure.
This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing.
Alright, here we go. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition, and there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. Okay.
A pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Fuck you, Pay. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it.
Are you alright? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too.
My brain feels strained and raspy, sir.
You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher?
What you do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination?
I don't really need it, but I'll do it anyway.
Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game.
Yes, teach me.
Yes, teach me, I know nothing.
Indeed, your job, Justice. To be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record.
But I didn't hear anything strange at all in the testimony just now.
A good sign that you need to press the witness for more information.
Press?
Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information.
But isn't Mr. Wright my client?
Well, think you can do it?
Yes, thank you, sir. I think I can do it.
I think you'd better, or we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna kill you, you big ass, if you don't do this right, Apollo.
Sorry, sir.
Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is a cross-examination. That is the power of life.
Inconsistencies. Lies. Phoenix Wright. As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I just realized I had my mic muted on the stream. Whoops! That was bad. Okay. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all.
Hold it! You can hardly play.
Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want.
Was that supposed to be a boast just now?
The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large.
Then why are you really the Borscht Bowl Club?
Oh, yeah. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table.
Hold it! They pay you just to play poker?
Yeah. That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional, after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited with...
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. Oh, okay, so it's been like at least 7 years since the last game.
What?
You see why the customers come now. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years now and not lost once. Is that even possible?
Oh, so maybe in that starting cutscene, it didn't... The thing about the starting cutscenes is you don't know who's talking. So maybe he's the one, Phoenix is the one who said you lost. The other guy got angry and tried killing him. But someone protected Phoenix? Maybe. The room where we play, and the competition in there are the club's main attractions.
Hold it! The room with the crime scene photo is an attraction?
There's quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
Black market?
All in the past, things like the black market are only in the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say... didn't read the rest of that, sorry. Right there in that room.
Smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad!
The bosses gather around the table cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to all regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped by history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Okay. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards.
Hold it! 2 decks of cards.
A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards.
There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there is some lying scattered on the floor.
Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really.
Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5 card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yeah, it's a game of hands.
This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. A simple game, after all. Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime.
That's strange.
What?
He never said that. He never said he was not connected. I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense.
I completely let that one slip by.
Don't despair yet, Justice.
Sir.
Right, there's something I'd like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you.
Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. I fled silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. That's wrong. That's already been checked.
Objection! So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle, right?
So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Whoa! That pose! It's like, whoa, brush my hair! Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection!
Oh my god, that was perfect! Oh boy.
No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
excess yelling can damage the judge's ears in our case.
But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone.
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Yeah, he was holding it that way. Yes, the brain's sewn with the bottle.
Ugh! Oh, I didn't see that coming. Not at all. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I see no problem. Really?
Huh?
The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see.
Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. That must be the reason. Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file. The murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement, 2 floors down from a ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in the hallway to go about the ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see, and this is the phone that made the call.
Okay. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Okay. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Is there anything special about this? Oh? What's this? Oh, the batteries are held in with a piece of tape. You should just buy a new one. Maybe you can't afford it. Or he just doesn't care. Oh, okay. That's weird. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. You claim he is being uncooperative.
Ugh! Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this.
I think the prosecution is toyed with our client enough for the time being.
But
toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution is a decisive witness. You're as good as they say.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime.
Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
First witness? Oh, yeah. Whoa, what the hell? Hi there. The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people.
Have no fear if any horn... sorry, I sound like Max Payne there.
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
Are you sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you're sure it is, okay. Okay, I can't tell if it's a guy or a girl. I'm gonna go with the girl.
Oh, now the prosecution.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, wait a minute. Will the prosecution care to explain the witness's... paraphernalia?
Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. These are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be?
My name is Olga Orly.
What?
I'm employed as a waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then, why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming a restaurant. But I also perform, how is it, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures.
Ta-da! Like, for example, this one! Interesting. He's at his piano. They seem to be on a different floor, though, I'm guessing, because this doesn't look like it's in that secret room.
But that's the defendant.
Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order, order! That is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is the same way as I drop cold balls of borscht on the laps of customers.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
August photo added to court record. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I'll have a look at this. Defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Touch the check button for details. Interesting. So there's bottles right to his right. Now, one thing I think will come important is what hand Phoenix does things with. I think he's right-handed? Or maybe he's left. I don't really know. I don't know which hand he points with. I forget. I was in room, the hideout. Hideout! Oh my god. We call it...
Excuse me, the hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It is room where murder took place.
What?
You look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Ta-da! Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley.
I'm wondering what her name's meant to mean. I don't know.
And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about the night's events. The fateful night.
That night, customers asked me to deal cards for games. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Duh! The victim, he plays whole time with his hands on locket of neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. The man flew at victim, and he's strangling him to death.
Oh. No, that's a contradiction. He was hit with a bottle. Incidentally, who won the game?
Is it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith?
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose.
Justice. That was the most stupid objection ever. You stupid-ass bitch, I knew I should have taken this case. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection.
But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid, it happens. Yeah! I didn't lose a case in my first 7 years as prosecutor, either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips, as they lay on the very moment of the crime. The hand and the chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. These on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
I mean, yes, imagine that poker is at war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
Well, I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table.
Chip further added to the court record.
Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. It's the last one, but I'm gonna press her on everything anyway. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game.
You were dealing with cards. Do you do this often?
I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht cards and more borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flies during the cross-examination.
It was cold. Both players play with hats on, duh.
It's already April. How could it be cold?
At Borscht Boat Club, we have pride in an authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it's always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going there.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, duh.
This girl is so the killer. I'm kidding. But it's just like, it's tutorial missions, so the kill is definitely going to come up. I'm just not sure who it is, honestly. The victim, he plays the whole time with his hands on the locket at his neck. He's Locket.
I believe it was good luck charm, duh. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though he might carry him to the moon and stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locker we're talking about. I mean a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course I know that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't... It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So, what happened next? The last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Oh, whoops.
Something terrible. The defense will refrain from needless shouting! Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing.
Now, Miss Ollie, can you tell us what happened next? Oh, I was so frightened that I trembled with fear. The man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death. Didn't mean to do that again.
But the defendant would never do such a thing. Whoa now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic.
If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me.
Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker?
Perhaps it is because the defendant lost the game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how mighty the fall. Go ahead, I believe you know what it is you need to do.
Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, Ollie.
Denied the customer... Yeah, okay. Man flew at the victim, strangling him to death. And boom.
Objection! Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Nah, normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean this report shows the victim died of a blow to the head.
Ah!
Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
Crime photo or 2 added. But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim, his neck.
Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time.
Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more.
What do you mean? I found a contradiction.
There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Very well. It seems we should continue this cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much.
This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. That night, the customer asked me to deal cards for the games. For game. Okay. It was cold. Both players play with hats on, duh. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. There is no locket, though. No, okay. Guess that's not anything. Yes, yes.
You're full of shit! Ugh, sorry. There's no locket, sir. I can't see, I'm blind.
Fuck you. This whole time, all of a sudden it's but something terrible happened. I think it's the locket. Oh, this is much closer. There's no locket.
You know, there was one curious part in our testimony, just like Mr. Gammon said. But, what does it mean?
Mr. Justice.
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck. I believe she said, "I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar."
No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck?
Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this.
But what does it mean? We are to believe this witness's testimony as is. Then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no?
Taken it off?
Wait, you don't mean? The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it?
Ugh!
That would explain it. Oh, maybe they were playing a game for the locket. Maybe that's what, like, they were putting that on the stake. Like, if Phoenix won, he got the locket, and if that guy won, he got to keep it. Maybe, and the guy refused to take it, refused to give it over, so Phoenix tried forcing it off him.
Defendant, what do you have to say? Say.
Yes.
I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck.
Yeah, the locket. Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter.
Ooh! Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter.
We confirmed that at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
So Mr. Wright has a locket, too. Why didn't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well, no. If the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
But the testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly.
Miss Hawley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Serious competition.
The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was the victim. For last hand, defendant played with old chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ugh, how many times have I heard those words? I done it in a fit of anger. Your Honor, now I regret what I done. Common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Serious competition. Okay. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, the total would be... exactly 7,000 points.
Please, this isn't calculus, it's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course!
Something's fishy with these chips.
Should I press harder? Yes.
Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips.
Explain? What is that to be explained? Objection! Oh, I love that pose. Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip up the old block, not a motorcycle cop, but...
Thanks. Now that I pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles, even?
Yeah, as I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. 2 Tesla chips, 100 points chips, and 1,000 point chips. It is not money, duh.
Justice. Sir!
Don't you find her comment interesting? Yeah, I do.
In more ways than one, sir.
I'll have it added to her testimony myself.
Well, does the defense want a witness to add to her testimony?
Yes.
Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony.
I wish I knew where I was going with this. I do.
Very well, witness. If you would be so kind.
Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 100 points. The other is worth 1,000 points. 2 kinds in all. I know what to present here. I'm just pressing everything.
Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I'd better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips.
Da?
The small one's 100, and the big one's 1,000. Right? Right, of course.
Heh. Don't waste our time.
Ugh. Is that all? Yeah. Great, Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb.
Oh, Justice. Please try not to embarrass me like that.
Huh? Who, me?
There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands.
What?
It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all.
Calculation?
I know, don't worry. One who was winning die was the victim. So the last hand defender was on chips and lose. Okay. Yeah, let's press this one.
You're telling me that Mr. Wright undefeated for 7 whole years is losing?
It must have been a most unlucky day for him. Click! I am glad I did not take out a picture of him. It would break camera, certainly.
What?
He's so ugly! The chips, they went always to victim's side of table. So, you're telling us it was a one-sided game? One-sided and... For last hand, defender played all chips on table and lose.
Last hand?
It was largest points in any hand. The defendant's hand, it was excellent. He tried to use it and take victory from behind.
It appears that the defendant and the victim's hands are in this picture. It's truly an excellent hand, however, so is the victim's.
One with highest number wins, so defendant loses. But there were multiple hands, so this might have been taken before the last hand, right? I believe that explains what occurred next. Once cards laid down on table, it happened. Either that or it was taken on the opposite side of the table, but I doubt it. Mainly because we've got 2 pictures and the bottle is in the same area. And only Phoenix Wright's prints are on the bottle, so I doubt the bottle was moved. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
And what happened next?
Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble. I did not believe such a thing would happen.
What such thing?
Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such a thing occur?
What such thing?
Net. Defendant had been hitting victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw bottle come down on victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? My witness saw the very moment of the crime. Remember, your first goal is to gather information.
Yes, sir. Look out, contradiction. Here comes justice.
Oh, I love your polar. Game begins with 3,500. One kind of chip is worth. Yeah. Okay, so... No, wrong one. I want, this one. Yeah, that one. So, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 600, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10,000. So that'd be 10,600. Did she mention how much chips there are in total? Game began with 3,500 points and chips for each man. That's obviously wrong, there's more chips than normal. Ow.
You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure.
Objection! It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten...
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court?
Of course, Your Honor.
In the photo I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course, duh.
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals aren't add up.
The totals?
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1 carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at the photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up...
How much is it?
Do it yourself, you aren't in kindergarten. 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong, chip count was wrong. Both were right? I don't understand that one. Starting points? The odd thing here is the number of chips. Right, Mr. Gavin? Why are you asking me? Just in case. Justice, it's your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with these failing eyesight could count them. That's not the only thing failing, Judge. Let me ask again. What? Seriously? Starting points were wrong? Maybe? This calculation makes the answer clear. The total combined points at the table were 10,600, and each man started the night with 5,300 points. 5,300 points! That's a rather half-baked score at which to start a game. Justice, would different starting points really change anything? But then what's birthright mean? I don't understand what that means. It seems the defense's objection was even more half-baked than the score, yada yada yada. Fuck you. What does this mean, half birthright? Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking that, but then again, it doesn't make any sense. Because the big ones you'd think would be the biggest in price. Okay, yeah. It would be right then, because then there'd be six big ones which calculate to 1,000. No, to 6,000. No, 6 small ones which calculate to 6,000. And then 10 big ones which calculate to 1,000. So yeah, 7,000. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness. Utter madness. Show me the photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. I mean, is that really? I don't see what we've solved there. It's still technically no contradiction. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. Objection! Oh wait, the value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the large number of chips still. No, he didn't, though. Ah! Exactly. The small chips were 1,000 points, and the large chips were 100. Let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. Ah! The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning the night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning! Yeah! Am I gonna lose my hair again? Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true values of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Is she gonna catch them again? Yeah. Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed to defeat never happened.
We must now ask ourselves
Whether we can trust.
Oh?
Excuse me, what is it, Miss Hawley?
I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see,
See what, Miss Hawley?
See what, Miss Hawley? What did you see? In the last hand, there was cheat. I doubt that.
A cheat? You don't mean... a trick?
A trick? Getting voices wrong.
Wait, what do you mean? A scam? They're all the same thing.
Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating.
Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting.
Witness, you'll please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
But we've got exactly 7,000 points on there. I doubt anyone could have cheated unless they were extra. The last hand, both men had full house. There was four of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheating is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. Duh, the defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. He had the less hand though.
Miss Hawley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning?
I thought I smelled a cover up here.
Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full house is very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrumptious.
Oh, Mr. Gavin, what's a full house?
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker.
Can't say this bodes well for your case or career. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring?
Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes?
Yeah, no problem. 2 cards of the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes the 3 of a kind.
Good, now picture a hand with 1 pair, and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Oh, I actually didn't know that. I've always wondered what a full house was in particular, but that makes sense. You can see each player's hands in the photo.
Well, they both have full houses.
We forget there's an easy way to make a full house, and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
The defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, there still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat?
The final hand. Last hand, both men had full house. Okay.
Just how hard is it to make a full house, anyway?
It is quite hard. It is making a pair and 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right. Very difficult, just to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
Very difficult, Dad, but it is not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard. The line of questioning, a waste of time.
There is 4 of each card in a deck from ace to king.
4 of each card, you say?
Duh, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons.
Huh, you don't say. Oh, did you know that the numbers are numbered 1 to 13? And all of the cards in the deck and you get 364. A year! Huh, you don't say. It's not 1 day short.
That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards.
Oh, you don't say. I'm going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this.
If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious.
How was it clear?
Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace.
A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces.
Oh.
And Mr. Wright's too. Obviously, cheating was a foot, or perhaps I should say a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke.
Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all.
A 5th ace.
Dad, it should not exist, no? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2.
Well, where did this card come from then?
Perhaps we should ask the defendant that very question. But the girl was the one who shuffled the decks, meaning she could have easily slipped in another ace. Adding cards to a deck is no less serious a taboo then than forging evidence in a court of law.
Ugh!
Now, perhaps it is time for you to say something, Justice.
You bet. No intention of staying quiet. Not me. No, sir. I better find some contradicting evidence fast.
Next moment game becomes argument da. The defendant's trick was exposed. Okay, let's have a look. What can I use? By the way, can I not look at character, people? Does this work? No. I'm not sure if the microphone for the DS works, because I'm using an emulator. Interesting. Defendant and victim's chips when crime took place. Defendant and Mrs. Smith at the Borscht Club. Wait a minute! There's only 3 kings! And there's 2 aces. What is she talking about? Okay, you little bitch, you liar. Bottle in his hand, bulbous. Ah, fucking hell. I didn't realize where I was in the evidence. Shut up, go away. The last hand, both men had full house. There's 4 of each card. Smith hand has. Nope, go back. This is fucking wrong, you son of a bitch.
It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name... Oh, wait, what? What is your name again? I forgot. Olga Orly. What does that have to do with her name? The witness in this case, a Russian waitress. I don't get what the joke was. Mistaken? Olga Orly. I don't really get the joke.
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point.
Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo.
What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? It's his stuff.
Miss Orly, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
Objection! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Yeah, maybe.
Objection! Taking a look at the evidence, you bitch. As you can see, the defendant also has 2 aces in his hand, and it's 4 aces in total, you bloody idiot. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Two aces in each hands. In each player's hand does make 4 aces a total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please! It is true, I haven't seen it. The 5th ace! It was cheating, I swear to you!
That's odd, she must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day.
You're right to trust your instincts.
Mr. Gavin!
Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards.
The cards?
Mr. Payne.
Ah, yes.
Players' hands that night was set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court.
Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
These cards don't prove cheating. What's going on? Nothing well. I want the victims.
Now, which one of these cards is more suspicious? The victims. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well. Received evidence victim's hand. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Okay. Victim Smith's hand was left at the scene of Full House. Oh. Look at that.
Only one of the cards has a blue back. I'm much more of a red guy myself. Blue is so not red, you know.
I get it, because Phoenix Wright has the blue suit and Apollo Justice is the red. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's doing it automatically. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials in the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case.
Okay, let's do this. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is different color.
Eh? That's impossible. But I put that card in Mr. Wright's hand. Oh, you slipped up! You slipped up! What was that, Miss Ollie? No, I merely said, panic! Your Honor.
Mr. Garvin, yes.
Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer.
Wait, so you mean... this witness, Miss Ollie?
She's the cheater, a professional, I'd wager. Catch it. Bup.
Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her... of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible. But I put that card in Mr. Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith.
Oh my god, this new tune. Doot 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 doot. Oh!
Not only did she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. Wait, you don't mean... the defense isn't accusing the witness, Mr. Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Oh, what the hell? Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Orley?
It appears she has lost consciousness.
Mr. Justice. Your Honor, it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means? This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
Yeah, what?
I did it, I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial for today. Prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Oh, it's Phoenix.
Mr. Wright. You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet.
Why not is the defendant spewing now? Think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? Well, what are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous.
Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night.
Okay, testimony. Oh, no. As we said before, we alternate between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed.
Use different colors and they still got mixed up?
We used the red deck for the last game.
I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises two serious questions. Apollo?
Yes.
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When?
There are three broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course, it was swapped. Oh, it might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'll let you hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? I think it was after, because, the girl swears she saw a fifth ace. So maybe that's actually true, but it was swapped out, so after.
Perhaps it happened after the murder.
Oh, what's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Oh, maybe it was during, like maybe they hit one of the cards off accidentally and then put one back on, but it was the wrong one. And they just figured, oh, it was a full house, so I'll just put this one on, but it turned out to be the wrong one.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Ugh, even when the backs of the cards are different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Ugh.
Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight into crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another?
Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? I don't think it was Olgi.
Who?
The game, the murder is done, the victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley.
Okay, who was it that swapped the red card for a blue?
I think it was Phoenix.
The one who swapped the cards was Mr. Wright. It was you, wasn't it?
And why would I do such a thing?
Well, because, maybe you were trying to hide the fact that you cheated. That would make sense, but they swapped the card was in the victim's hand.
Sorry, I'm a nice guy, but I'm not that nice.
Come to think of it, he would lack a motive for helping his opponent win. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue?
Oh, okay, maybe it was Olgi then, or someone else.
The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. Well, what are you suggesting?
It's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point.
Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious.
Huh.
Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is.
It's been a while.
Fun? How about confusing? I've no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't a defendant, then it wasn't Miss Orley. And who was it? Maybe it was Kernosh, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it?
Precisely.
Huh?
I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that indeed after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made two critical mistakes.
I'm sure you're going...
My throat. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first card was swapped the wrong color of card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Yeah. They thought that they didn't realize an ace had fallen.
Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king.
I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, that person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. You saw it in the beginning video. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
Trial is proceeding on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in the room.
I believe the new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I will see you in my chambers during the recess.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes.